Team USA in the FIBA World Championships just got ousted in the semifinals by Germany.
Team USA failed to medal at the 2023 FIBA World Cup.
For decades, Team USA was the indomitable force, the king of the hardwood, and the embodiment of basketball supremacy. But oh, times have changed. Not once, not twice, but thrice did Team USA taste the bitter sting of defeat at the just concluded FIBA Basketball World Cup. And if that weren't enough, the once unthinkable occurred when they lost a bronze medal game to none other than Canada. Yes, you've heard that right. The very nation known for hockey excellence, maple syrup, and friendly politeness laid claim to victory over the basketball juggernaut. So what really happened to Team USA? How did they go from unbeatable to, well, very beatable? Let's find out. Team USA, the basketball juggernaut, left Manila with their heads hanging low after notching up 3 losses. Yep, they ran into Lithuania, Germany, and even their friendly neighbors from Canada. It's like the basketball universe hit them with a triple whammy. But wait, this isn't the first time Team USA has left the tournament empty-handed. The last time they went home without a medal was back in 1970 when Yugoslavia snagged the gold. And guess what? The century has seen it happen not once, not twice, but 3 times. That's right, in the 2002 and 2019 World Cups, Team USA also missed out on medals. So the idea of Team USA dominating every time is starting to fade, and the competition is getting fiercer.
America, this is where basketball was born and bred. And the reality is that the world has taken notice. The world has been going about the business of catching up.
You can't talk about the US falling short in the 2023 FIBA World Cup without mentioning Germany. They were the ones who pulled off the shocker against Team USA. Germany was like the surprise guest at a party no one expected. Even though they were the only team to keep a clean slate in the 2023 World Cup heading into the semifinals, people didn't give them much of a chance. Their quarterfinal game against newcomers Latvia was a real nail-biter. Dennis Schroeder, their top scorer, had a rough night, missing 22 out of 26 shots, plus Franz Wagner, a key player, was still nursing an ankle injury from their first game against Japan. It's like going into a race with one shoelace untied, but somehow they still pulled off the unexpected. But when the moment of truth arrived, Germany stepped up in a big way against the formidable USA. Trailing by just 1 point at halftime, 60-59, they unleashed a surge in the third quarter, pushing their lead to a commanding 10 points, 94-84. Despite a valiant fourth quarter comeback attempt by the USA, Germany held on for a narrow 113-111 victory. It was a game that had fans on the edge of their seats, a thrilling spectacle showcasing the best of basketball. When you look at the stats, the USA had the edge in shooting, with a 58.5% field goal percentage compared to Germany's 57.7%. However, what set Germany apart was their team chemistry and composure. It was these intangibles that allowed them to maintain momentum and defeat the almighty Team USA. You've gotta hand it to the competition. They've really upped their game to give Team USA a run for their basketball money. It's now crystal clear that the old strategy just isn't cutting it anymore. So what's the next move for the USA team? Well, it's back to the drawing board. According to the legendary Carmelo Anthony, who's not just a USA basketball icon but also a global ambassador for the Basketball World Cup, the USA Dream Team is gone. He went on to add some extra spice to that thought by saying, "That's a good thing for the sport, right? It's good for FIBA, basketball, and all the fans out there. It's a wake-up call that the rest of the world isn't messing around." But hold on a sec, this isn't a new lesson. It's been taught a bunch of times already. The days of throwing a dozen NBA superstars on the court and expecting a blowout win are long gone. Even the late Kobe Bryant said it loud and clear back in China 4 years ago. The gap between the USA and the rest of the world has closed. You can't just assume the Americans will always win because, well, they don't anymore. US team captain and point guard Jalen Brunson hit the nail on the head when he said, "People expect us to win every single time because of the history of USA basketball." That's the outside view, but times are changing. Now, besides bidding farewell to the Dream Team era, there's another big reason for the USA team's lackluster performance at the recent FIBA World Cup. Let's just say their game plan for the tournament was a bit wonky. Sure, it's tempting to think that if they'd send their absolute A team to the 2023 FIBA World Cup, they would have cruised to gold. But the reality is, this year's USA squad had enough talent to at least snag a medal if not gold, and they came up with a big, fat 0. It's a head-scratcher, no doubt about it. Blaming the players alone for Team USA's struggles would be missing the bigger picture. The decisions about the roster, strategy, and lineups were in the hands of a formidable trio: head coach Steve Kerr, managing director Grant Hill, and team director Sean Ford. Take Jaren Jackson Jr. for instance. He's been getting some heat for not grabbing enough rebounds, and sure, he's a towering 6'11" guy, but he's basically a shot-blocking wing stuck in a big dude's body. Putting him as Team USA's starting center was like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Jackson is more suited to be a roaming power forward, swatting shots on defense and stretching the floor on offense. You know, the kind of guy who lets the beefier teammate handle the inside work, just like how Steven Adams rocks it for the Grizzlies. But here's the surprise. The traditional center on the team was Walker Kessler, and they didn't even try playing him alongside Jackson. It's like having two puzzle pieces that could fit together, but they never even try to see if they do. The FIBA World Cup is a tournament where being tough and physical is the name of the game, but Steve Kerr, the coach, kept sending out lineups with smaller players. It's like trying to win a sumo wrestling match with a team of gymnasts. That doesn't make sense, right? They even rolled out a 5-guard lineup in that gut-wrenching overtime loss to Canada. They didn't even have enough players who could handle the tough defensive work. Poor Austin Reeves was basically the target for the other team on defense. It felt like the team had enough firepower to light up the scoreboard, but not enough muscle to wrestle in defense. The folks in charge of Team USA have some explaining to do. They could have made smarter decisions like holding tryouts to create a more balanced team, but instead they loaded up the squad with players who really liked having the ball in their hands, like Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, and Brandon Ingram. Now, while it's fair to criticize youth programs like AAU for how they shape player development, it's not fair to say that all American players can't play defense or don't want to do the dirty work. In fact, the 2023 team had guys like Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart who are all about that hard-nosed style. But overall, the team had too many players who were kinda doing the same thing, like having a bunch of chefs in the kitchen making the same dish. And here's the jaw-dropper. Team USA was the only team in the tournament to give up 110 or more points multiple times. That shows how poor they were defensively. When it came to scoring, they were on fire, shooting at an impressive 54% just behind Serbia. They even led the tournament in scoring, averaging 102.6 points per game. But when it came to defense, they were about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. They ranked at a dismal 13th in points allowed, giving up an average of 82 points per game. So what's next for Team USA? Well, the 2024 Paris Olympics are up next, and they've got a lot to prove after their lackluster performance in the recent World Cup. But here's the scoop. They're planning to roll out the big guns. Word on the court is that LeBron James wants in on the action, and he's not stopping there. He's rounding up future Hall of Famers like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant to join him. That's no doubt a superstar squad, but relying on these veteran stars to carry the team to gold tells us something about the times Team USA is in. It's like having your wise old grandpa come out of retirement to teach you how to win a game of chess. It might work for a bit, but it doesn't fix the underlying issues. Most international teams have been playing together for ages, building chemistry and teamwork. They're like a well-rehearsed band, while Team USA sometimes feels more like a one-night jam session. Now let's talk tough truths. If Team USA doesn't bring back that shiny gold medal from Paris, there's going to be some serious soul-searching in American basketball. All eyes will be on folks like Grant Hill, who's responsible for putting together the Dream Team, and Steve Kerr, who's calling the shots on the court. They'll have to answer some tough questions about their leadership and game plan. The reality is that the pressure isn't just on the players, it's on the decision makers too. It's not only about winning the games, it's about keeping America's basketball legacy alive. If they lose the gold, it could mean losing the title of being the center of the basketball universe. However, Team USA still remains the favorite to win gold in Paris, irrespective of what happened at the FIBA World Cup. Kerr and his coaching crew, including Eric Spoelstra, Ty Lue, and Mark Few, have had a learning experience, and they are gearing up to come back stronger next summer. Grant Hill, in his role as managing director, is feeling the heat to assemble a gold-winning team. And with competition from the likes of Serbia, Germany, Canada, France, and Australia, it's anything but a cakewalk. So buckle up, basketball fans, because the next chapter for Team USA is going to be one heck of a ride. Whether they return home with gold medals or not, one thing's for sure, the world of basketball will be watching. Here's the question for you. What are your thoughts about Team USA? Has their dominance finally come to an end? Share your thoughts in the comment section below.